All right, so what's your name?
Hi everyone, my name's Greg.
And are you a full-time RVer?
At the moment I am. I own a home in California and I spend most of my time there, but I'm taking about 6 months to do a cross-country trip, and my goal is to do some genealogy research on the way across country.
Awesome. So that's what inspired you to travel then?
That, plus I'm getting older, and if I want to see things in the world, I need to do it now while I'm healthy and have the money and I'm, motivated to get out and do stuff. I can't wait. That's one of the things I've learned in life is if you have goals and you expect to meet them, you need to get out right now and get it done. Because I was formerly in the medical field and I saw so many people who decided to wait until kids were grown, money was right, house was paid for, any number of reasons not to get out and get it done. And in many cases they became so ill later in life that it was impossible to get out and get it done. So while I'm young-ish, ignore the gray beard.
I think you still look young.
I want to get out and get it done.
Very good. Is this your first RV?
It is. I spent a long time looking for RVs prior to starting this trip, and my issue is I'm 6'4", and most RVs, small RVs that I could pull with my small truck, are too short, and I hate hunching over inside an RV afraid that I'm going to bang my head on something. So I looked for about 6 months with a buddy of mine, and ultimately I found this, and it's an A-frame. It pops up. I've got 2.5 feet above my head when I get inside of it. So for me, it works out perfectly.
That's awesome. I was just about to ask you how tall that was, but you answered that. How long have you been doing this for then so far?
I've only been on the road for about 5 weeks. I started in the area around San Francisco and headed south because I've got family in Southern California, so I stayed in Southern California for a time. And then also have family in Arizona, so I headed to Arizona. And then, although I live in the West Coast, there are places on the West that I haven't seen that I wanted to see, one of which was a place called Bryce Canyon. And if you haven't been to Bryce Canyon, I highly recommend that you go there. It is one of the most jaw-droppingly beautiful places I have ever been to. And I've traveled pretty significantly. I lived in Europe for a few years, and I've lived all around the United States. I've seen 44, 45 of the 50 states.
Wow,
so
impressive.
I can tell you that I've seen an awful lot, and Bryce Canyon is just beyond compare. It's really worth going to see. So if you have any inclination, I would highly recommend it.
That is very good information to know. Actually, we'll be out there, so I'm going to make sure that we check that out.
Oh yeah.
Have you had any issues with this since you've had it, since this is your first RV and your first time camping, really?
Not really. It's easy to pull. It's a 2014. It's made by Rockwood, and they call it a hard side. I call it an A-frame because that's what it looks like to me. Mm-hmm. And it folds up nicely. It only takes me about, if I'm taking a leisurely time, it takes about 30 minutes to fold it up and get ready for the road. If I'm in a hurry, it's about half that amount of time. But hey, I'm retired, so
Feel ya.
I take the first 30 minutes. But I'm very pleased with it. Haven't had one single issue all the time. So, and it's been through a lot. I was through windstorms that was throwing up a lot of sand when I was west of the Rockies in Utah. I got caught in a snowstorm in Vail, Colorado, and the thing was just covered with snow. I've been through thunderstorms, lightning storms. I've been through a flood, although I managed to go around it, so I didn't flood the interior of that. So I've seen everything really that nature has to throw at you except tornadoes. And of course now I'm in Illinois, and I understand there's 9 areas of tornadoes today around Illinois, so I may yet have to flee from a tornado.
I hear that. Are you usually at a campground whenever you travel, or do you boondock any?
I can boondock. I've got everything that I need to do so. However, I'm very spoiled, and I like the comforts. For example, the air conditioning only works on electricity. It won't work on the battery. So I really prefer being in campsites. And I'm a KOA member, and by and large, I find that KOA campgrounds are pretty nice. This is an example. I mean, this is far away from traffic. It's in a nice shaded area. A little breeze coming up. It's really, really nice. The people that I meet in KOAs are uniformly friendly and helpful. The facilities aren't always great, especially the showers. One of the things to think about when you have an A-frame is there is no toilet in the A-frame. So you're at the mercy of how well the owners take care of their toilets. And for the most part, the toilets that I've encountered in the past 6 weeks have been clean and nice. And a big thing for me is the showers. And it's kind of hit or miss with the showers. Some of them, like this one, pretty nice. Others, pretty sorry.
What's your average stay, since you're just traveling around for genealogy and stuff?
Well, I don't like to spend too much time on the road. So, as an example, I'm going to head out tomorrow, and I'm going to wind up in Indiana, and probably spend a day or two poking around Indiana, recuperating from the drive, just relaxing. This is a relaxing trip. It's not, I'm not in a hurry. And I find that spending long hours on the roads really isn't for me. Plus I have a greyhound in the A-frame, and she's a pretty good traveler, but she gets all tired as well. So I find that if I camp at a place for 2 or 3 days, then move on for 2 or 3 more days, that seems to be a pretty good schedule.
Gotcha. Do you have any advice for people who are looking to get an A-frame?
Yeah. When I bought this in 2014, it was the latest and most up-to-date model. However, since that time, they have raised everything by about 8 inches, which doesn't sound like much, maybe, but it is. So, for example, I've got a smaller refrigerator, and in the new ones, they have one that's about 6 inches higher, and the height of the stove, the sink, and things like that is higher, and I really, really like that. Like I said, I'm 6'4". Bending over is not fun for me. So if you're going to get an A-frame, get a 2015 or higher from Rockwood, because everything is up a little higher.
Besides the no shower and no toilet, do you feel like this meets all your needs since you're on the road for 6 months?
Oh gosh, yes. This has everything I need. And I have a mental block against carrying my own wastes around with me. So I know most campers do. They've got toilets and stuff like that. But dumping it and going through all of that business is really not my cup of tea. I've never liked doing that. So for me, I know that I'm sort of chained to campsite restrooms or restaurants or way stations or truck stops or what have you. I'm sort of stuck with that, but that's okay with me. No problem.
Gotcha. Do you mind if you show us around a little bit where you live?
Sure, come on in. So this is my greyhound.
What's your greyhound's name?
Her name is Stretch.
Aww.
You can see she's stretched out and pretty happy.
Yes, she looks very relaxed.
Again, as you can see, I've got all kinds of room.
Oh,
and
wow, yeah.
you spend most of your time right here in the center because everything you need is centrally located.
Mm-hmm.
So the cooking area is here. I've got a 3-burner cook stove underneath this glass. And when you're not using the cook stove, put the glass down, it becomes your, you can see I use it just for placing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My refrigerator is here. I've got a small sink over here, hot and cold water. A little bit of storage under here, but I don't like bending down, and these lower areas to me are for things I don't use very often. The way I've managed storage, and that's one of the difficulties with an A-frame, is there's not a lot of storage. But one of the ways I've managed storage is by buying these little bins, and I put the things that I need in these bins. That bin over there, for example, is all my clean clothes. This bin is kind of a catch-all. It's got some bathrooms, some toiletries in it. It's got my dog food in it. Anything that I might need on a daily basis goes in here. So when I'm ready to leave tomorrow and I'm cleaning up all of this area right here, all of that stuff will simply go in here. It locks, and all of this stuff goes over there. The dog bed goes on the floor. The whole thing folds up, and I can be on my way.
Is this a couch that your dog is on? Or?
It doubles. It is currently folded down, but if you would like to, but you get all this stuff out of the way, and this will turn into a table. The table is currently underneath.
I see.
And also 2 benches, one along that side, one along this side. But I prefer not to use it that way. I've got this folding chair, and I just basically sit right here. The air conditioning is right behind me, so I'm nice and cool. I've got a heater. I've got really everything that you might need for your trailer.
You have a microwave I saw over here, which is surprising that you have that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, this honestly, this has every single thing that you might need for a trip, with the exception of the toiletry facilities.
Right. So then whenever you pack up, all of this stuff goes on the floor?
No, as you see, this is the hinge where the top folds down. So everything has to be underneath the hinge.
Gotcha.
So as you can see, I take my bins, and they are below the hinge. So I take the dog bed, throw it on the floor, take all the bins, and my, this is filled with cookware and stuff, put it all over here, and it's all below the hinge, and then the whole thing folds down, button
That's
it
awesome.
up, be on my way.
That is awesome. This is wonderful.
It really is. This is a perfect size for 2 relatively fit people, or myself and my dog.
Mm-hmm.
To get myself, my dog, and one other person, which I've done on occasions, is kind of rough. It's kind of rough. It's really not optimal. What I have right now, just me and my dog, this is optimal.
Mm-hmm.
She's there. This is my space here. So.
And your bed is actually pretty large. Is that a queen?
It's a queen size bed.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Oh yeah. You can put 2 people over here. I've done it a few times. Just move all the bins to the other side, and then this makes into a queen size bed. It's perfect.
Yeah, that is really nice. I noticed outside you have a little bit of storage on the front, which was really nice. Did it come with the rack?
It came with the rack, and initially I thought this was going to be a great idea because you could put bicycles or firewood and things like that in there. But what I found is that I didn't take bicycles. And yes, I use it for firewood and stuff. So I went out and I bought this thing, bolted it in there, and I have a generator in here. I've got a toolbox in here. I've got the kind of stuff that you might need on your trip, but you don't use every day. So I just kind of keep it in here, and Every now and then I have to go into it. I went ahead and bought little batteries, just because, as I said, I'm spoiled, and I don't want to run into problems with running out of battery. So I just bought two tanks under here, and in addition to being spoiled, I'm lazy. So I don't like cranking the damn thing up, so I bought the electric one with the motor.
Oh, I had no idea that was electric. I'm clueless when it comes to trailers, travel trailers. That's really awesome. And this is your tow vehicle.
It's a Honda Ridgeline, and I bought it last year, and it's been spectacular. It pulls this with no problem most of the time. However, coming over the Rockies, it was I was having to downshift, and I was going 35, 40 miles an hour in some places over the Rockies. So that was a 6-cylinder engine, even though it's good for the flats. It wasn't quite great for the Rockies.
Gotcha. I noticed you have a table and chairs in there. Do you use those often then?
Well, yeah, those are rocking chairs, and I have a friend that's going to meet me in Boston in a few weeks, and we both like rocking chairs, so we'll each have one. Plus, there's a canopy that I have there. The canopy doesn't work well for this area because there's always a breeze here, and I'm afraid that it would, pull over. But,
that's true.
On really hot days where the sun is just beating down, I can just put up a canopy, put the rocking chairs underneath it.
That's nice.
Enjoy life.
That's really nice. Anything else you'd like to add to the video about just your traveling life so far or anything?
No, I don't think so. I think I've told you about my trailer, told you about my truck, and I told you if you're going to get out, do it. Don't wait. Don't wait. Everything else in life will fall in line. The money, the time, but don't wait. Just get it done.
I agree. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Bye-bye now.